I know I was really excited to see this movie, and then you came out, you're like, Jordan Peele is involved with it. That means we have to go. Now, supposedly he's also involved with a Power Rangers reboot that's going to be coming soon, too.
That does not appeal to me in the least. I'll tell you, I'm like, okay.
5 of my roommates. I know what we're doing next summer.
Oh, my goodness. Hi, I'm Teresa. Welcome to our weekend show of Cocoon Cast, where we deep dive into movies and discuss all things cinema.
Hi, I'm Rebecca. Today we will be discussing the new movie, Monkey Man.
Rebecca, we have some Sony news.
Looks like the new Karate Kid movie is alive and kicking as of yesterday.
Ooh, let's get started.
After his village is burned down under the orders of the influential Baba Shakti, Kid makes it his mission to sweep away the corruption holding his community hostage by climbing the rungs on the ladder of revenge. However, with every life Kid takes, he starts to question whether these acts of retribution will bring him, and the memories he holds of his mother, lasting peace.
Rebecca, Indian John Wick comes to a theater near us.
Don't call me son.
Guess they're banging it up in Bangladesh, eh?
Yeah.
I know I was really excited to see this movie, and then you came out, you're like, Jordan Peele is involved with it. That means we have to go.
Yeah, pretty much that's kind of where we went. I love Jordan Peele. Cinema community missed it, but when Nope was out, how many times did I see this movie? I do knew
5+, easy.
Great movie. Dev
5-month
Patel. Yeah, well, yeah, it is, right? We should be talking about that one. However, we're not. We're talking about
Monkey Man.
Monkey Man. This honestly did feel a little John Wicky based on the trailers.
Do you remember me? Do you know any of their names?
I can see that, especially the way that the camera is moving and just the snappiness of the action sequences.
It had more to it than that, though, I will say.
What did we call this in the car right over the studio? Social commentary with fists?
It kind of was. It was funny, too, because there was action. And maybe it was just me, but it felt like based on the trailers, there was going to be a lot more action and less, I don't know, kind of a storyline or more just...
Lot with punches?
Are you ready, Spooky?
I was honestly surprised because it I don't know if it was about midway through, but it just started to slow way down, and all of a sudden this plot line started to show up. And it's crazy to me because it wasn't a ton of dialogue, but you knew what was going on.
I think that really speaks to the strengths of Dev, not only as the lead actor in this film,
Yes.
the director of this film, the producer of this film, and did I mention the lead writer of this film? This man has an Orson Welles.
That surprised me, I'll be honest. I wasn't expecting him to do everything, and he really did do a ton. And back to Jordan Peele, his company, other production companies were involved. They were excited. My understanding is it was supposed to go to Netflix, and they purchased it for, $30 million, and said, nope, we're going to threw that in there just for you. No, we are not going to do that. We want this to be seen on the big screen.
So Netflix bought the film's international rights for $30 million.
Okay.
And then Jordan Peele saw this and goes, we all need to see this. Much how you saw this when you saw that Jordan Peele was attached.
I was impressed. Yeah. Swayed me.
And he bought the rights for what's understood to be $100 million.
Oh, $100 million. Oh, wow. Boy, I got him a good deal. I'm like, $30 million. He's like, yeah, lady, I wish. No, I paid a little bit more than that. I agree, though. I think on the small screen, even though I understand, right, people are going to stream this movie, probably buy this on DVD, It felt better in the theater.
I definitely think this is you're going to go see it. Please go see it in the theater experience.
What's your take on the action aspect of it?
I can definitely see where Dev has done his homework. He's mentioned several Korean action films. A lot of our cinema community may recognize the film Old Boy. That's a kind of a name-dropped film when it comes to this kind of thing. I can definitely see just the fluidity, the singularly minded focus of the characters. These characters are almost like chess pieces. When they move around, you kind of have an idea where it's going to go, but it might move a square or two away from where you were expecting.
Okay, I thought it was predictable, but not as much as I would have thought. We laugh about the whole John Wick piece, but there were some nods to John Wick. There was a gun and he's like, do you want the John Wick model? And then the fish tank. And I'm like, but honestly, I appreciated that because instead of saying we're this action movie and we're, hey, we're separate from anybody. We don't have any influence. We la, 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 right? It's like they actually acknowledged parts of that.
The other thing I loved that this film acknowledged was the Indian cultural aspect.
Absolutely.
It's not just, this story is set in India and this guy's going on this revenge and there's these little spiritual layers. It's like, no, there are actual plot points. There are winks and nods to the characters and deities that they are referencing.
I agree with that. I think that's a great point because I think that made the movie smarter than, as you said, somebody just kind of drops somebody in India and says, hey, wreak havoc, chaos ensues. I appreciated that. I agree. I think that added multiple layers and honestly respect to the Indian culture in terms of, I know in the beginning, the main character kid, right, Dev Patel, was so poor and just so downtrodden. And it really felt as if they were in India and this really was happening to him.
Which, hilariously enough, this was filmed in Indonesia.
Which isn't India. Which was, I agree with that. I thought that was engaging. I think the part that was really a struggle for me was, I mean, obviously these are movies you in the box love much more than I do. I'm late to the game. I wouldn't say I have as strong of a passion for movies like this as the two of you. However, I would say I was missing the humor and cracking. People are dying and, he's killing everybody and all the baddies are coming at him. But it wasn't funny.
To you.
To me. But I agree, right? Our team was there. You laugh at certain things. The box laughs at certain things. Other people laugh at certain. I'm like over there going, oh my. But it was interesting to me. It felt heavier than I think it needed to be, meaning the whole story was heavy. But when you walk out of the theater, I think the levity matters.
I think the levity matters, but I think when you're approaching a topic of serious social commentary, talking about how there are certain groups of people that are just ostracized and underfoot, as it were, you kind of lose some of the impact with that too much levity.
So you think maybe less?
I think...
Meaning I would want more, you would want less, or do you think the movie hit the right mark?
I think the movie hit the right mark for me.
Okay, I can handle that.
I think too much humor kind of would have been distracting to me.
Well, and I'm not saying yuck, 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 or, slapstick, no pun intended. I think for me, the humor, an example for me would be maybe John Wick or even Matrix, that there's parts of it, that's part that's kind of a weird thing, right? Because we're talking... killing people, assassins, all this crazy stuff going on. And yet the humor to me brings an element that this one didn't have. And I do understand what you're saying. This movie was trying to say many, many different things.
There's one scene we like in the John Wick franchise, and he's killing a guy in a library, and he kills him with the book, and then it flops open, and you see... restored by John Wick.
Oh, I remember this, yes.
I think the thing with action movies is there's a certain type of humor, and if you're not used to it, this movie is going to feel a lot drier, kind of what you were saying.
That's what I'm thinking, because there's, obviously, we're talking about dark humor. This is dark humor to me. But I agree with you. I don't want it to take away from the action. I think the choreography was good. The cinematography I liked for the most part, but there was a little bit more shaky cam than I generally like.
Do you think that was just because some of their camera equipment broke and they had to use almost these makeshift rigs? I know you and I had discovered that through the research process on this film.
Right, that they were literally running out of money. I don't know if it was intentional or not. That's the part that I didn't hear. It maybe it wasn't. Maybe it was like, hey, we just need to finish this movie. We just need to do it. But there were a few scenes, and I don't want to spoil it, but there were a few scenes that weren't shaky cam where the action was in the frame. And it really was nice. The coloring was nice. The sound was nice. It felt pretty fluid of a movie. It just felt a little bit bloated to me. I think, it's like a 2-hour and 1 minute movie. I think 15, 20 minutes could have been shaved off, and I think it would have been a tighter experience.
So you think a tighter edit would have made it a more cohesive movie to you?
Kind of, right? Because I think that there's the part, like I said, I think it was fluid. It went together, but because there were so many different plot pieces. The other challenge I had is they would say something and it felt like they almost overstated it. After they had, there's a whole plot line around his mom, for example. It felt like that it started, it went to the middle, it went to the end. That's fair, but it felt like a lot in the middle wasn't necessary to me. I knew where they were going. They had established it pretty well.
So less is more, and it would be a bigger impact for you in terms of the story.
So. And even like we're talking about kind of the shaky cam, I think it feels like Saving Private Ryan, right? Shaky cam, shaky cam, shaky cam. I think when it's too much shaky cam, it loses me. Do we have any questions from the box?
So Tom Cruise is known for doing his stunts. Now we have Dev Patel doing a lot of his stunts. Do we have a new Tom Cruise in the making?
I think Dev is definitely giving Tom Cruise a run for his money, and not just in the injury department. This movie was very cohesive and seamless for me. I could tell he was trying to tell a story with even the choices his character is making in the action sequences. You can tell where he's learned some of his techniques, but you're also seeing him kind of adapt to this gritty world that not everybody's going to play fair.
I was impressed that when I had learned that he had done most of his stunts, I know we were laughing, not laughing, but sort of back to the dark humor where a stuntman actually stepped on his foot and that's what actually broke his foot. Not all this crazy things that are happening. It's like, oh no, I'm good. And then he goes, and then there went his foot.
Well, and then his hand. He literally had a screw in his hand, and they had to readjust the choreography just so he wouldn't use that hand.
I thought the stunts were pretty impressive, though, honestly, because he's a serious actor, and obviously this is his first go directing as well. He's pretty fabulous out there. Do we have any other questions from the box?
With more indie films like Old Boy and Sishu creeping into the modern action movies, do you think this falls in that category as having a unique property that kind of expands the action landscape in the United States?
I think so. I think that this movie shows that you can have an action movie with all of these cool moments, but you can have a plot behind it that you can sink your teeth into.
That's interesting. I remember this issue, and this is funny to me, right? Because we laugh about Liam Neeson being a serious actor, but all these movies that he's been in, the recent one, The Saint and the Sinners, the Irish one, it feels a bit Liam Neeson-ish, that he's out for revenge, he's out to get everybody. And I thought, oh no, I hope Dev Patel doesn't go the way of Liam Neeson.
This time, why don't we keep it light? Remember, it's for children and he's a bunny.
Do you understand what's happening here? He's hopping down the bunny trail, hippity hoppity. He's coming. He's an unstoppable force, measured, inevitable.
As much as I love Liam Neeson. Rebecca, it is that time of the show where I have, 5 assassin moths, guns, knives, and a dog even.
Oh, wow.
What do you think? 1 to 5?
This is a 3 and a wing for me.
3 and a wing. All right. Number 1 reason.
This is a pretty neat little film. I kind of wish some of the background characters would have gotten a little bit more depth, but it's pretty good for what it's setting out to be. And I definitely recommend seeing this one in theaters. And I'm already mentally planning how many of my friends am I going to drag to this. So that's a good sign too.
That's a great sign if you want to see it again. All right. 5 assassin moths are back for me. Hopefully they stay over here at this point. I would say for me, it's a 3 wing. It's above average. I think the acting was good. Like I said, it felt a little bit too long. I understand these action movies have gore. I just don't know if I needed as much. A little goes a long way, right? If you're going to spill a little blood, little goes a long way. As you said, the Indian piece, the cultural piece, I appreciated that. I think that added depth. I just can't say, oh, it's the best I've seen. It's the best I've seen. But just as it stands on its own, not comparing it to other movies, I would say it's worth a watch. And I would say definitely, if you're going to see it in the theater and drag your friends. Hey, cinema community, don't forget to comment below. Let us know if you're planning to go see Monkey Man. Once you've seen it, no spoilers, but hey, let us know what you thought about it. What's your Moth rating? You've heard our thoughts. Maybe you want to tell us what's your favorite monkey movie. Mine is Planet of the Apes. I will lead the charge. Share down below. Let us know what you think.
If you enjoyed our review on Monkey Man, please like, which helps more viewers find our cinema community, and subscribe. It really helps us out, and you won't miss our upcoming reviews, and please share it with your friends.
Rebecca, it is that time of the show to talk about who we are. Not sponsored by this week.
Please tell me you have some food. I'm hungry.
As a matter of fact, I do. I do. We asked Sukhi's Irresistible Indian Cuisine to sponsor
I love
us.
Sukhi's. What did they say? Oh. Ooh.
We love their food, though. They have food we love. And I thought, okay, Monkey Man, Indian culture. Sukhi loves to make food. Kind of the, we're laughing the Indian John Wick. Action makes you hungry. Going to the movies makes you hungry. It was worth a shot.
Yep, still no, huh?
Still no. But, okay, so do you know this about Sukhi? There really is a Sukhi.
Yeah, she's on their boxes, and you have the picture and everything.
So she's a real deal. And she says, my grandmother just loved making food. She had the natural gift of cooking, of course. Taught her how to cook. So in 1985, Sukhi and her family came to the U.S. with the goal of making food for all of us out here.
Quite a noble goal, sharing food and love.
I think it's great. Here's the other thing. Maybe you don't know her story, right? You see her little face on the box and you go, well, tell me more about her. She got a little bit, she tells you a little data about her. NPR literally has a podcast. It's called How I Built This with Guy Raz. She and her son are on this show. They talk about a family business. Family business, how about that one? We could identify with this. And they talk about why they started the business, how it went. And if you say, oh, I don't know about NPR, I don't know, we kind of like the NPR thing. But if you go on their website, you can literally click and it says, click here, and you can listen.
Oh, that's nifty.
Yeah, I kind of liked it. But we love her products. We love Indian food, right? And as we were talking about, we were getting hungry. They have so many foods. If you love Indian food, they have your favorite food. But I learned something. We talk about, they have the little prepared food that you can kind of cook and that kind of thing. They actually have sauce packets, which I never knew, which is, like the Kevin sauce and some of those. You just add your favorite protein, add your favorite veggie. They even tell you how to make it. Like this is, put coconut milk or, half and half. And you have instant dinner.
Instant dinner? Instant Indian?
Instant dinner. My favorite that they have, which I'm laughing because I don't think I could ever reproduce it, is the samosas.
Oh, I know you're a sucker for a good samosa.
I am a sucker for a good samosa. They have a frequently asked questions tab, and the most interesting question is they do halal, and they talk about how the humane slaughtering, so they are trying to respect their customers. I thought that was pretty good.
That's pretty neat. Thanks, Sukhi's, for not sponsoring us and not giving us any non-witches. It's that time in the show where we want to hear from you. We love to see your comments on our videos, especially your rating in the movie and why. Now let's talk about some of those cool comments we've been getting, Teresa. I hear there's some Ghostbusters ones.
Oh, cold chili. Let's talk. First up, we have Shai, who commented on our review of Ghostbusters: Frozen Empire. Here's what they had to say. This movie was so frozen that I thought the penguin from Batman was going to make a cameo. Oh my.
Danny DeVito's smirk here. I mean, come on.
Oh, that's hilarious. All right. Good comment.
Next up, we have another comment from Shai Rodias, commenting again on our review of Ghostbusters Frozen Empire. In his second comment, he said, I hope they're going to make another movie, but I'm not going to hold my breath. I think they are. They're making money, and people like Ghostbusters.
I still like Afterlife better.
I do too. It's tough saying that, but
It was okay. It wasn't great, but I think Shai has the right idea, though, because if it didn't do wonderful and didn't do great, they may not. It's a trilogy. I agree. All righty. Finally, we have JJW77, who also commented on a review of Ghostbusters Frozen Empire. Here's what they had to say. May the lack of cohesiveness and disjointed is due to the editing department. Thanks, Teresa and Rebecca, for another of your honest reviews. Ooh.
yeah, editing department, it can be responsible for a lot of stuff, but you got to start somewhere. It's like the box always says, you can't edit what you don't have.
That's true. I always think that's so disappointing, though. And I appreciate the comment because we do try to give a very honest movie review. And I think we're pretty honest when we're excited about a movie and it fails in our estimation. We're like, oh, but it's also one of those things where definitely comment below. If you've seen the Frozen Empire movie, what do you think? What's your favorite Ghostbusters? I know my favorite is still the first one, but I loved Afterlife.
It's like I said in the review, Afterlife sets such a high bar, and then you have this movie afterwards, which it definitely fits a certain audience. I might not be that audience anymore.
Ooh, that's saying something. The afterthought has come your direction.
For those in our cinema community who haven't seen it, one of the things that I did like that I found on my recent trip to the comic book store is there's a tie-in comic that bridges the gap between the two movies. I feel like whoever wrote the comic for that had a better grasp on the tone because it felt like it was really bridging the Afterlife kind of drama and seriousness, but also the goofiness you found in Frozen Empire.
That would have been great. I would have appreciated that. I think they need a new screenwriter. Ooh. Not so great, huh? Rebecca, what's going on out there in the world of Hollywood news?
Well, we've got another sequel, and it's something you might get excited about.
Ooh, do share.
Do you know what I'm talking about? The Matrix.
The Matrix.
Oh, another one.
But Lana's not directing it this time. She's producing it.
Oh, interesting. All right. Come on then. Who's directing it?
Drew Goddard.
Oh, I like him.
Yeah, you like The Martian. The Box, and I love The Martian.
I was going to say, you like The Martian. The Box loves The Martian. Wow, The Box is over there probably going rah, rah, rah.
I hope so, because Anthony D'Alessandro is bringing us this from Deadline, so you know it's legit.
It's legit. Tell us the details.
Well, like I said, Drew Goddard is directing this. He's also worked on World War Z, and he directed some of Cabin in the Woods for those of our cinema community who are into the horror space.
Okay. I actually remember that. We saw that.
I was nervous. Even though I like The Martian,
yes,
I was still nervous until I heard Lana was on board. So I'm really excited. And she's giving her blessing. She's saying, hey, Drew's got this exciting vision, and we think we can do it.
I like that, though, that a lot of directors are turning over their properties, if you will, to other individuals. And it's not they yanked it from them. It's they're excited about it.
It's nice to see it almost being passed to the next generation, if you will.
Absolutely. The baton is passing. It sounds like we don't have a release date. Is that?
That's my understanding, yes.
Okay. And they have a script, or is it we have a director and a vision?
We have a director and a vision.
Wow. But that's exciting, right?
Better than no news.
I would say based on your enthusiasm, that's enough to ride you for months.
It is. Now let's see how the trailer fares.
Yes, that would be exciting to see the trailer, actually. And Keanu Reeves and...
No word on any of that.
Nothing. Oh, wow.
We are literally just getting the faintest glimmerings of, hey, new Matrix movie.
Ooh, you in the box. Very excited. Yeah, I know. I see the little sinister. Do we have any questions from the box?
As a team, we really enjoyed Matrix 4, even though in the box office, it didn't do so well and got a lot of criticism. I think people just didn't get the humor. But anyways, do you think this one's going to fare any better? Do you think the whole COVID thing and all that really messed up for? What are your thoughts?
I think the problem you have with a franchise like The Matrix is it means so many things to a lot of different groups of people. And no matter which way you're going to do it, somebody's going to go, you did it the wrong way. That's always really tough. I think they kind of got some of the humor in that situation when you watch 4, but I'm really excited to see this because I think this can give the story new life. I think Neo and Trinity are amazing characters, but the problem is if you get stuck in that world for too long, you're going to lose some of the interesting pieces that could create a whole new story. I know for me, what really makes the Matrix franchise successful in my mind is the side characters also having their own journeys as well.
You're a big fan of side characters, though. I laugh. That's sort of your like, go for the underdog. Go for the underdog. But I appreciate that because the original Matrix, it's an older film. It's true.
It's still iconic.
I was thinking that the first Matrix predated you, but actually you were just yay high when it came out.
It's really strange to me because the Matrix has been everywhere.
The Matrix is everywhere. It is all around us. Even now, in this very room.
I used to be really involved with a lot of cyberpunk fiction communities.
Sure.
And this is a landmark piece of work, especially in the film space.
It's a good movie. And I appreciate the box comment. We liked 4.
Rubber duck, huh?
I know. It's all about the duck. But it was just so funny when they were talking about the video game. They're like, it's a this, it's a this, it's a this.
What made Matrix different?
It F with your head. People want us up in their gray space, switching their synaptic. What the hell is going on here? Light on.
We need guns. Lots of guns. Matrix means mayhem.
Obviously, the Matrix is about
Transpolitics.
Crypto-fascism.
It's a metaphor.
Of capitalist exploitation.
That to me feels very relevant to our world and how we see it and how people see it. And to me, it's not that they're poking fun at themselves, but that they understand what people are saying about the Matrix. And I thought that was smart to just identify that. Like you're talking about, all different groups of people liking it.
I think it's really tough too, especially for Lana, because a lot of the emotional journeys that these characters go on are directly paralleled from events in her own life as well.
That is true. That is true. And the music we find phenomenal. We've heard the music multiple times.
It's really cool is some orchestras perform movie scores live, and we had the privilege to see one of these directed by the original composer.
That was phenomenal. I'm excited. I know the two of you are much more excited in our team. That there's great rejoicing on our team. But I'm excited too. I really do. And it doesn't feel like it's just, let's make one more. We have more to say. And as you said, maybe there's more side characters. Maybe there's more depth. I think there's more to tell.
I look at it this way. They had all of these opportunities to make sequels years ago. The closest they came was The Matrix Online. Mm-hmm. And for a long time, that was the last word in anything Matrix. They could have done so much with this, and they chose not to. So that tells me that they're still taking it seriously.
I would agree with that. Hey, Cinema Community, comment below. Tell us what your favorite Matrix movie is, and maybe the order. What's the order? What's your favorite Matrix, Rebecca?
I'm stuck between 1 and 3. I think 1 works better as a cohesive film, but there's some moments in 3 I think just sell it.
Rebecca, what else is going on out there?
Well, we've got a little bit of a nostalgic fluff surprise.
Wow, it sounds like a yogurt meets Cool Whip kind of a thing. So what's going on?
Throw in some Jell-O. I think you've got it.
All right, I'm wiggling. What's going on?
I was checking YouTube last night.
Watching Cocoon Cast on YouTube? What?
All right, you caught me. Every once in a while, I'll rewatch the show. Sony Pictures put on their community tab a picture of their lead actor holding their clapperboard. You know, the thing that goes...
Oh, yeah. We have one of those.
Right over there.
There it is.
They officially announced that the Karate Kid sequel, remake, what have you, not tied to the original movie, started filming yesterday.
Holy moly, it's kind of nostalgic fluff.
Oh, yeah.
But it's not original, or it's not related to the original. This is what, Another Karate Kid? That's what it's called, Another Karate Kid?
It's called The Karate Kid. Just in case you wanted to...
The Karate Kid, well, like italicized, The Karate Kid.
Just in case you wanted to be more confused, you have The Karate Kid from the 80s, you have the one with Jaden Smith, and now you have this one.
Wow. All right, let's talk. I remember the 80s version. Wow, that was something.
It was the best around, wouldn't you say?
Yeah. I actually had to write an article on it that's that's a whole thing. I actually wrote a review back in the day when I was writing. I actually wrote a review for this movie.
Are you serious?
I am serious. I'm lying. I'm like, I know the 80s versions. Yes.
Love to pull up that review.
That's a something. I remember Karate Kid more than I probably should. I know you liked Cobra Kai.
Totally a Cobra Kai fan.
Yeah. So talk about this. When is it coming out? Who's attached to it?
So that's the funny thing. Remember?
It just starts off at, that's the funny thing. Yes.
Remember when I mentioned that Dune's release date got bumped?
Oh, yes. You were crying. I mean, I'm sorry. You were commenting. Yes.
We edited that one out.
Yes, right. We did.
So when Dune's release date got bumped, it started to create this cascading reaction that all of these other movies got bumped. And they hadn't even started shooting the dang thing at this point.
Wow. Uh-oh.
Our release date is officially December 13th.
Wow, that's like almost like next year, December. That's like close.
Pretty close. If you think about it, this was supposed to be originally released in June.
Ooh.
And then SAG-AFTRA strike happened.
Oh, yeah. Evil. Oh, it's a ways down the road. Who's directing it? I'm assuming they're shooting it. Meaning...
Oh, yeah. This is principal photography. We're talking.
Okay. And who's your actors and...
Well, I have a name for a director.
Oh, there's a start.
This is a bad sign. He doesn't even have a Wikipedia page. I had to Google him.
Oh, I'm laughing. You're like, Alejandro, could you please tell me? Yes. No. Okay.
Jonathan Entwistle. Now, supposedly he's also involved with a Power Rangers reboot that's going to be coming soon, too.
That does not appeal to me in the least. I'll tell you, I'm like, okay.
5 of my roommates. I know what we're doing next summer.
Oh, my goodness. Oh, wow.
Yeah. So he's involved with that. The funny thing is, I can't find anything also on the screenwriter. My best guess.
Oh, this is scaring me.
It's mentioned that Rob Lieber is writing this. The closest thing I could find to a Rob Lieber is a producer of the same name.
Oh, I'm like, when you said Entwistle, I'm like... The bass player for the Who? I'm like,
that was my first thought too. Honestly.
Yeah, well, no, yeah, he's since passed, but I'm just laughing. I'm like, Entwistle, that's the name that comes to my mind, but I haven't heard of either one of these.
The most recent thing that he's done is the Peter Rabbit film, the first Peter Rabbit film.
Oh, from a few years back, right?
Yes. And then the Alexander, the No Good Horrible Day project.
The book. I remember that. It's fluffy. It has potential, but I can't get quite excited. I'm just kind of like, let's see what's going on.
There was an article I found that basically said they had over 10,000 submissions before they were able to figure out who was supposed to be their main character.
That's impressive, though, because that says we had reviewed recently True Grit, the remake, and we were talking about Haley and her, she was like, 10 or 11,000 people. So I appreciate the fact that they're actually trying to cast this well and understanding that a lot of people have love for this. Just like we were talking about with Ghostbusters, right? A lot of people have history with this movie.
I think that's pretty neat, but I'm still nervous. I know almost nothing about this project.
Which is interesting because you read and you read and you read and you read and you're like, I'm even on Wikipedia trying to figure stuff out. I'm like, Is this a to be continued?
This is a further notice, keep your peepers peeled kind of situation.
Wow. Let's see if the box has any questions. Any questions from the box?
Based on the popularity of Cobra Kai, do you think that's going to really help this property? Or do you think they're rehashing something that shouldn't be rehashed?
I don't even know the story with this movie, so I can't really tell you. What I can suggest is the team behind Cobra Kai has stated that they thought about making some movies after the conclusion of the series. So I think that's just going to confuse the general audience at this point.
I'm already confused. It's working. I think it's to be continued.
Yep.
All righty. Keep us posted, Miss Rebecca. Thanks for joining us this week. We're always excited to create experiences to bring our cinema community together.
Next week, we are excited to be reviewing potentially Alex Garland's last film, Civil War, on our Movies and More weekly show.
Please remember to like, subscribe, and to share our channel.
If you enjoyed this show, you might check out last week, where we reviewed the Coen Brothers classic, True Grit. And on our Movies and More weekly show, we reviewed the William Shatner documentary, You Can Call Me Bill.
Remember, cinema community movies are better together. Thanks for watching. See you in the next review.